So, it looks like we have some troubling news on the Witcher developers CD Projekt Red. Well, it's kind of remiss of me to call it actual news. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Good morning, afternoon or evening to you, wherever you are in the world. This is Nick Banks, as usual, coming to you from all things PlayStation 4. And before I go on and inform you guys about this troublesome tremor in the world of CD Projekt Red that I've come across online, I just want to share my thoughts on CD Projekt Red and why I personally feel like they're so important to the modern gaming industry. With an opinion like that, I'm sure you can imagine that I have got stacks of respect for these guys. First off, let's just remind everyone of the obvious stuff. CD Projekt Red, relative unknowns before The Witcher was a game, created the largest free-roaming game ever. Yes, that's right, GTA 5 fanboys. Bigger than GTA 5, and they also created the most content-packed world for us to explore. By this I mean every facet of the game. This means the most writing for Geralt and NPCs, smashing Elder Scrolls out of the park, the most quests, the most locations, the most detailed character models across the board, and also the largest array of enemy types with their own individual behaviours that again we had ever seen in a game. Most free roamers sacrificed these elements, but Projekt Red actually maintained a high bar in all of these areas where other free roamer devs had failed. Just think about your other free roamer games and you'll see what I mean. I forgot the specifics, but I'm going to generalize here. I believe they had only 2/3 of the staff that the GTA 5 team had, and around half the budget. And just look at what they've achieved. Then there's CD Projekt Red's approach to DLC. DLC heavy packages seem to have eased off lately. I have learned that Titanfall 2 will be rolling out new maps, among other things, in the future for all owners of the game for free. Big ups to Respawn there. But when The Witcher 3 came out, we had been bombarded with sensationalist news on Star Wars Battlefront's £50 season pass, and the microtransactions and wallet-bashing DLCs of COD were still fresh in our minds. Along came CD Projekt Red with 16 free DLCs with The Witcher 3, and they all rolled out once a week after release. And yes, I'm sure many of you are aware that, okay, they were just character skins or extra little quests here and there, but we all know that there's plenty of devs out there, guys, with no qualms about charging for that kind of stuff. Then when the actual DLCs for The Witcher 3 came out, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, I already felt spoilt rotten. I was then more than happy to put more money down for about an extra 50 to 80 hours of questing on top of the 100 or so that I'd already done. These guys know how to look after their customer base, and many devs could take a leaf out of their book on this one. So that's enough of that. You guys are here for the troubling news. So what is the troubling news? Well, word on the wire is that CD Projekt Red may be in trouble. The internet has learned that a general meeting of all shareholders is going down, and according to Reddit, this will be on November the 29th. Now, I won't pretend to understand all of the corporate jargon that's on this page that I found, but I'll put the Reddit link in the description below, and you guys can check it out for yourselves. However, what I do know is that these shareholder meetings, they're usually all about hostile takeovers from some other media conglomerate somewhere, and if this goes down, just to again generalize and simplify things for an easy understanding of the situation, what it means is that there's loads of talented developers that could well lose their jobs, and projects that are set up for the future could get messed around with. Now, we've already seen this with Ubisoft recently. That's probably why everything that I was saying up until that point was starting to sound a little bit familiar. Now, there's a media conglomerate called Vivendi, and they had their sights set on Ubisoft for some time. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot even had to appeal to his brother to buy loads of shares in Ubisoft just to help brace it against Vivendi's next takeover attempt. Thankfully, it worked. Ubisoft, for the time being, has been left alone. Now, please don't freak out over all of this. CD Projekt Red may well be just fine. This is all just speculation right now, and there are no absolutes just yet. However, could Vivendi have given up several attempts later on Ubisoft? And they've given up after several failed attempts? Who knows? Maybe they're now shifting their focus onto CD Projekt Red. I don't know, guys. Time will tell. And the reason that I mentioned all of that stuff in the first half of this video about why The Witcher 3 was so fantastic on a PR level and from a developer perspective is that because all of these wonderful qualities that we had seen in that example may well be under threat if a takeover does happen. Those customer approaches that CD Projekt Red had employed may get messed around with a little bit if someone steps into its offices. It's also worth mentioning that Damien Monnier, hopefully I pronounced that properly, the lead designer of the upcoming Gwent game, has resigned. According to CD Projekt Red, the two parties have parted way on amicable terms, but is he saving his own skin before the shit hits the fan? Again, time will tell. We've also heard nothing on Cyberpunk for a very long time now, and if the CD Projekt Red offices get screwed around with by a potential possible takeover, when that trailer finally releases after all this time, it may be something very different to what we've seen so far. I'll keep a close eye on this one, guys, and I'll keep you updated as events unfold. As always, thank you for tuning in today, guys. My channel is still in the humble beginnings phase, so be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you again on the next video for all things PlayStation 4. Au revoir.